Welcome back to the Barrel Talk Podcast. This is episode 124. I'm your host, Corey Prather, joined with Nick Wynn on the call. How we doing?
Doing good, man. How are you doing?
Doing all right. But
We're 124. Come on now.
football season's almost over, sadly.
Yeah.
Pretty much only got two, until we get to our off-season stuff, basically only two more in-season episodes. We'll have
Been a good season, though.
Yeah, one next week, and then that will be the bye before the Super Bowl. Obviously have one after that, and then we'll have our off-season stuff. But getting over the divisional round, pretty entertaining for the most part. All these games, close games, and then we had one kind of blowout game, which we kind of expected going into it. But what are some of the reactions from the divisional round? We can start out with a certain game, or we can just kind of go all over the place.
We can go game by game. We can go with the Ravens Texans first, since it was the only blowout. It was a little scary in the first half. Lamar wasn't really doing nothing. The Ravens weren't really doing nothing.
Definitely rust showed.
What's up?
Definitely some rust showing after being off for like damn near 3 weeks.
For sure. And with the pressure that you have, I mean, they definitely did have a lot of pressure on them going into that game. But I mean, that defense is just insanely good. Lamar Jackson is insanely good. That second half was really good. Great performance. I mean, the Texans, you're not really going to ask much more out of them what they did. I mean, rookie head coach, rookie quarterback, getting to the second round of the playoffs.
I mean, even with really not having a real number 2 receiver with Tank Dell being hurt, and then looking into how good the Baltimore defense even was, because they didn't score a touchdown other than the return.
Right.
So they didn't even get into the end zone with how good C.J. Stroud has been and how high-scoring all the Texans games have been in terms of them just putting points on the board. I mean, that defense held them to their only points really being a punt return. But looked sharp in the second half. I mean, it was a little bit of a scare. You definitely saw kind of the rust and kind of the pressure of the moment with really them knowing that the Texans are just simply playing with house money. But more so, they just look super, super sharp in that second half. Lamar looks so elite. This whole narrative of him not being able to throw the ball and him not being able to do certain things with the ball because he's not a so-called just pocket passing quarterback. Like, he's making the same throws and the same reads as a Joe Burrow, who people, honestly, in my opinion, dick suck when it comes to that. Being a pocket quarterback and knowing how to move in the pocket and make these throws. Makes the same throws as a Josh Allen. Like, he makes these same kind of throws. And even then, his number one, it's impressive enough, Zay Flowers. His number one is Zay Flowers.
Dog.
He's climbing the ranks for me. Like, he could mess around depending on how he plays against KC and if they make it to the Super Bowl, being top 10 to 15 wide receiver already.
Mm-hmm.
But,
I mean,
and then they're planning on getting Andrews.
You got Odell, you got Rashad Bateman playing good, Isaiah Likely for real stepping up into that tight end role.
Yes.
I don't. He get a touchdown. I don't remember.
He did
exactly what he did this week. He had a touchdown. But and you might get Mark Andrews back. I don't remember if they're exactly going to get Mark Andrews back this week, but I do remember seeing that it was a possibility.
Mm-hmm. I think with the bye, if they were to win this game, I do think he would play in the Super Bowl.
Yeah, for sure. He'd for sure play in the Super Bowl. We'll see if he plays this week. Didn't really need him, like I said, because of course he would add another dimension to your team.
Yeah.
Even if you use him as a decoy, but Isaiah Likely is still doing that job pretty well.
And then adding the addition of Dalvin Cook, who did get some run in that second half, I think he'll play a way bigger part in a Chiefs game. But even they were talking about it on the call, Dalvin Cook probably hasn't seen a hole that big on the line in a fucking year playing with the Jets.
For sure.
So, and with how Baltimore's run attack is, I mean, they're just, with how good the O-line is, I mean, you damn near can put anybody with some speed in there and it's going to make something happen. But I do think Dalvin Cook will get some run. I think he can have a good enough performance to where teams will look at him in the offseason and be like, he still has it. Because we forget Dalvin Cook was having 1,000-yard seasons all up until this season. People were ready to write him off.
Yeah, and you can see with with Zeke. Zeke's getting a lot more love now this year than he was at the end of last year. Mm-hmm. And I think it could be sort of that kind of thing where you see that he could still play a role in an offense.
I mean, the only reason we for one, like obviously now with how our rushing game was this season with the Vikings, I mean, us letting him go was obviously detrimental to our team, and people just were ready to write him off like he was like some old ass back who like couldn't get it done anymore, like he didn't just have 1,000 yards.
Right.
But he's still good enough to like be your lead back in my opinion. It's not like he had some injury or something crazy. Like he legit just like we didn't want to pay him, and then people thought he was washed.
Yeah. I don't know. Running backs are just the one. It's just a weird position
Yeah.
where you get people see you as much older than you are very early.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I get it, wear and tear, and just getting hit like that is hard on any body. But like, yeah, I still think he has. I still think there's a lot of running backs that just get again looked over
And
too early. I don't think Zeke was being paid. I think he was being paid too much, but I don't think he needed to get let go by the Cowboys.
then you see how it affected y'all running attack with him not
Yeah,
there.
it turned into a zero.
Yeah. So,
$20, goddamn.
but I mean, just looking at that, and then he went to the Jets, and then like that O line's terrible, and then like you already have Brees Hall as a number one back in there as well. So like he wasn't getting any touches over there. But I don't know. Ravens look sharp. It is what I expected it to be in a game. C.J. Stroud, phenomenal season. But we'll kind of get into that a little bit later. Next game, that was Saturday night. Packers and 49ers. Probably the most frustrating. Actually, it's not the most. It's second most frustrating game I watched this weekend because
Right.
the Packers had this game locked up from the start. I don't understand. Brock Purdy should have had 2 picks. He hit 2 DBs clean in the chest. Should have been 2 pick sixes. At least one of them should have damn near ended the game in the first half.
Yo,
But I mean,
I don't know. I really thought the Packers were going to do it. I really did. The 49ers really need to clean it up. I get they they're playing at home against the Lions this week. I don't know. It was just a rough game, and Brock Purdy, picked it up at the end of that game-winning drive, and people are going to come out and say,
What-
"Oh, it's whatever." So,
it
it's
was
okay.
rust. Like we said for the Ravens, rust
Yeah.
being off for basically 3 weeks for this team because they didn't have to play Week 18. But Debo
Yeah.
Samuel being
And the
hurt.
Packers were hot.
Yeah, Packers were hot, rolling, coming off beating the Cowboys. Good defense over there, and then you're looking at no Debo basically for that whole game, except for like the first drive or two,
Yeah.
which obviously that kind of was deflating for the team, at least what it seemed like. And then Ayuk was really just getting clamped up the entire game.
Oh my God, yeah, he was. That was so annoying. That was so annoying to watch. I mean, you're still going to get what you get out of CMC on the ground and in the air. It's just, he has so many weapons, bro.
With how bad the Packers' rush defense has been all year, I feel like they did a very serviceable job with what they were given to work with. Because that's really the only hole in that defense. Because secondary wise, they're stout, especially when you have Jair in the game. But I mean, they lost the game more than the 49ers won. For one, I'll wrap around to it. These fucking kickers, like, oh my god. But it does.
So annoying.
The Jordan Love was having one of the most impressive games I've ever seen until he threw that ball into triple coverage.
Yeah.
It's like, just throw it out of bounds. You're already in 4-down territory. You
He's
just need
forcing
to.
it. He knows he has nothing to lose.
Yeah, that was just a forced play trying to be a hero. Could have threw it out of bounds. But then it's like, but my mindset, and I think the Packers had this mindset too, of trying to go take the deep shot instead of just chip away, get in the field goal range. I don't think they had any confidence in Carlson making like a 50-yard field goal
Probably
to tie
not.
the game after he'd already just missed previously. So it was basically touchdown or bust in their eyes. And he's a rookie kicker.
Or at least like getting close. Like,
Yeah.
I don't think they definitely were not confident in like a 45-plus
No.
yard field goal. Like
No.
you got to get close or get a touchdown.
Yeah, and it was raining in San Fran. Like, it was bad weather game. Like,
Yeah, I wouldn't trust him. To
No.
be honest.
no. But especially when he missed one against the Cowboys too. I want to
Yeah.
say indoors.
I think.
And then he missed one on one drive, which should have. Packers had multiple chances to win this game. It's Jordan Love's the guy. He's gonna terrorize our division for fucking years to come. It's gonna be sick. Matt LaFleur.
Yeah, he's gonna be great. It's
He's
awesome.
Matt LaFleur, one of the most underrated coaches in the league, and he's kind of proving it now with Jordan Love being basically his rookie year and everything else like that, taking a 49ers team. Death
Yeah, I think
taxes.
people need to apologize to Matt LaFleur. He was getting a lot of hate. I feel like, and now people know we just don't talk about how he's doing good. I get Jordan Love's playing great, but like he's part of that.
Yeah, I mean it's the play
And they have the
calling.
youngest team in the league,
Hmm.
or at least youngest team in the playoffs.
No, they are the
Beat the
youngest team in the league.
Cowboys, youngest team in the league. There you go. And yeah, I think he got too much hate and he ain't getting enough love now.
People were ready to. People were talking crazy about Aaron Jones during the season. Aaron Jones is the
Fuck yeah.
first person to put like 100 rushing yards on the 49ers in like 2 years or something. They were talking about it. It
Mm-hmm.
was a crazy stat during the game. But Jordan Love played a magnificent game up until that
After
pick.
putting on 3 touchdowns against the Cowboys.
Yes. Jordan Love, masterclass of a game. Should have probably won it. Brock Purdy game-winning drive. People got to give him the respect. What did you... I don't know if you saw Ryan Clark's comment on Brock Purdy. He was like, the hardest thing I've had to do all year is to act like Brock Purdy's in the same conversation as like Lamar, Mahomes, and
Oh,
Josh Allen.
yeah, I did see that. I don't know. It's like he's not like it's just so weird because I do see both sides of the argument. Like he definitely is not as talented as the top. Like there's a tier. Like and he's not in that first tier of that 6, 7 guys.
Hmm.
But he is good enough. He's better than Jimmy. I compare a little bit to Jimmy G. Jimmy G was with the 49ers, did the exact same thing, and they did this exact same thing. Warranted if they get to the Super Bowl, whatever, win a Super Bowl again. But and he did pretty much the same thing, same win record, but he just had worse stats. Brock Purdy has a little bit better stats, but I don't think he is at that level.
No.
I don't think he should be in the. I don't think he should have been like a finalist for the MVP.
No.
To be honest, and he got to be a finalist, which I thought was crazy.
And it sucks because I'm with the mindset of like, people are quick to say, look at the talent on his team. But then it's like, when we see a quarterback get that talent, we don't attribute that same argument to, oh, well, look at the team. Look at all the talent on their team. Like, like we don't, obviously hold different situations, but like, look at Mahomes and the Chiefs in their prime. Hella talent on that roster offensively.
Oh yeah.
But like
Oh
people
yeah.
are gonna say it's because of Patrick
But people look
Mahomes.
back and be like, "Oh, Patrick Mahomes won that
Yes.
Super Bowl."
But like then they'll look at Brock Purdy and it's the weapons, it's not Brock Purdy. I think there's both sides to it. I understand both sides, but give credit where credit is due. I've never seen somebody so much of an underdog story get this amount of hate. It's crazy. Like people should in any different
people hate
world,
Brock Purdy.
yes, in any other world, Brock Purdy, Jared Goff, two underdog stories. That's what people would look
relevant. Everyone should love him.
Yes, people should love this guy. But I've never seen somebody like him get so much hate. I've never seen it before. He's out here making the consistent throws.
It's him and Dak, bro. Him and Dak get all the hate in the world.
Dak, I get it to some extent because it's been going on for so long. But when I look at like a Brock Purdy, I'm like
a second year player.
Yes, I'm
who
like
succeeded in his first year.
I'm like he's damn near never lost at when he's healthy and when he's starting. Like he's only lost a handful of games.
I think he's 3-0 when he's started and finished games in the playoffs.
Yes, it's
so I mean he hasn't lost.
I understand trying to be critical and like some of the comparisons people bring up are crazy. Like we've had our own talks in like our group chats about it. Like one of the big ones, him and Herbert. Like I still believe you give Justin Herbert in the 49ers system.
Justin Herbert on the 49ers, like there's no
it's a whole different thing.
Super Bowl favorites.
But like Brock Purdy knows how to manage and knows how to spread the ball around. But I see both sides of it. But I think people look to hate and see him fail more than they want to see him succeed. And when he succeeds and makes a game-winning drive, they're ready to say, "Oh, well, yeah, CMC, he should be doing that every drive."
Right.
Like it's crazy how the narrative switches. They never want to give him credit when he's the one out making plays. Debo out goes making a game-winning drive, makes the throws needed. But nah, it's his weapons that do all the work, right? Who is giving the ball to the weapons? The quarterback. Give him some fucking love. I'm not saying he needs to be.
You're right. You gotta give him a little bit of love.
I'm not saying he
is doing it because not everybody can do it.
No.
It's crazy because I do sit here and I wonder. I wonder if Zach Wilson could do it. And I think he could. I ain't gonna lie. I think Zach Wilson could do what Brock Purdy's doing.
I think
Maybe
Brock.
I'm wrong,
I think he could do it, but
but
not to the level of Brock Purdy and how he's doing
probably
it.
not. Probably not.
I don't think he should be in the conversation with like MVP, like generational quarterbacks. But he deserves enough love to where you don't shit
He's
on
good.
him
He's
like he's
fire.
like
He's
fucking
fire.
Derek Carr over here throwing interception after interception. Like he's hooping. Like he's
Yeah.
giving his weapons the ball. That's the scheme. That's the
Yeah. You still
plan.
have to put the ball in the right places. You still have to do the job, and it's
Mm-hmm.
not like he's like turning the ball over at a crazy rate. It's not like he's losing games.
Yeah.
You know?
Even though
So
he should have been picked twice at least in this game
yeah,
because he was rattled in that first half.
yeah. And he did lose. He did lose them a few games, but
Yeah.
not a lot. And not he hasn't lost them a meaningful playoff game yet.
No. No.
So
Um.
we'll see. I mean, Lions, Detroit Lions.
Yeah. But
Hey,
next game, Lions and Bucks. Oof. Man, listen. Baker Mayfield. All he could. All he could.
man, I love Baker Mayfield.
I'm so glad this is happening. It's crazy
Me
what,
too.
and just in sports in general, it's crazy what situation and confidence can do for a player. This is it. We know when Baker Mayfield is confident. Baker Mayfield is like a legit quarterback in the NFL. He is fearless. He makes all the right throws when you need him to, and people like rally around him because of his personality.
Mhm.
But like looking at the
He's
game,
gonna get you. He's gonna rush for that 8 yard first down.
yes,
Third and 8.
and he's gonna get up and he's gonna and like talk
Yep.
shit. But like
You gonna talk his shit?
it was cool to see. What a year to have it in a contract fucking year too when he's a free agent. I hope he stays with Tampa. I think that's the best situation for him because him and Mike Evans, interesting little offseason for Tampa because this is a year where they're rebuilding. End up beating the Eagles, went Super Bowl last year. People can say everything they want about the Eagles. I think beating the Eagles for this Bucs team is significant and really handling them. And then you lose to Detroit and Detroit's the better team, but you were in that game towards the end.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, I mean it's just I don't know what they need. You need a little bit of help on your defensive back end, and then like maybe another wide receiver. Dude, I don't know about Chris Godwin. Chris Godwin, he's getting old a little fast. He's getting old before Mike Evans. I didn't expect that.
Maybe bulk up on that O line a little bit, make it a little bit easier on Rashad
Yeah.
White.
Rashad White is a dog.
Yes.
Just keep working with him.
And then you still have a stout defense, one of the best rushing defenses
You got
in
K
the league.
Dot. He was a dog in the playoffs.
You know, Baker loves
You
his
still
tight
got a
ends.
stout run defense, Vita Vea.
Yeah, so
they're looking good. I mean, they can still do it. I think they got Antoine Winfield.
especially in that division to where like you're in a division to
You're
where
gonna be
like
competitive.
yeah, like
Yeah,
unless the Falcons
Baker can literally win you that division. I think every year. Probably.
yeah, unless like the Panthers are still years away, like
Unless like the Falcons get a crazy quarterback,
or unless the Saints like
or the Saints figure it out.
something
No,
crazy,
the Saints
like-
are cap hell. Like
yeah,
no.
like no, they're not figuring it out. But going towards the Lions side, like God, I wish.
If I had to grade the Bucs season, A.
Oh yeah, I'm
A
going an
minus.
A.
A minus. Texans get an A.
Yeah. Packers, I'm gonna go A plus.
Packers and Texans, I think, are the same. They're just A pluses.
They found their quarterbacks and they found what works and everything else. Tampa.
Bucks like A minus B plus.
The only thing about the Bucks is that they're just an older team.
Yeah,
That's the only thing
it's just
separating
your team's
them.
getting a little older. I think low key Tampa probably thought they were going to be here. To be honest, maybe not the second round, but they definitely
Win
they
a
went
division.
Like, okay, we gotta win it. We gotta win
Yeah.
the division.
Yeah.
Our division sucks.
Yeah, getting to the divisional, man, that's something though. But then they run into Detroit.
The
I
Lions.
would do
Oh, no,
anything
Peter.
I would do anything to have that NFC Championship game in Detroit. I would do anything to have the environment in Detroit would be fucking crazy.
It'd be insane.
But Detroit, I mean, they're just. I'm ready to say it. I know I'm never one to be like recency bias like that, hella crazy. Jahmyr Gibbs is like like out of this world in the open field. Like he is just
Oh, he's
insane.
fire.
Like he's
Him and
insane.
Bijan are pretty crazy.
Yes. And then like when they need to get the tough in between tackle yardage, like you just throw Mott in there. St. Brown is just you can't do shit with St. Brown in the slot. He's too fast. Laporta, thank God they still have him healthy. Like the
Mhm.
only thing this team is missing is really a number two because Jameson Williams isn't like crazy. He's just
Yeah, but
mainly a
you
deep
have just
threat.
like a bunch of number threes that
Yeah.
do it.
Mhm.
Jameson Williams, you got Josh Reynolds just doing the thing. Josh Reynolds is low key there too,
Yeah.
and is pretty good at it, honestly. But having that dual threat run game, like that's like at the same level as CMC. I'd say that running game kind of like equals out.
Yeah.
Because having that dual threat running game is kind of crazy.
CMC just does everything.
Yeah,
But I mean,
it's kind of crazy. That's also kind of crazy.
they're just on this insane run right now, and it's tough to say because even if Dallas won, I don't know if Dallas would have beat Detroit because just of how hot they are, and it seems
That would
like
have been a fire game.
yes, everything just seems to be clicking at the right time for Detroit.
Good loss. Fuck.
But everything seems to be working at the perfect time for Detroit. They're on a run, championship game, first time in like fucking forever. And then you go play San Fran, and we'll get into our predictions to wrap up the episode. But man, this is scary for my division
Yeah.
because the Lions look like they could just be good.
Lions and Packers. I mean, hey, and then it's you and Connor down there.
Yep, yep. You know,
Bears and Vikings.
but it is what it is. But
Looking great.
wrap up the divisional. KC and Bills. I mean, another classic for sure, instant classic, like it's always going to be with these two teams. I mean, the whole, like, the entire touchback sequence, like that 2 minutes, was just fucking insane. Like, the Bills absolutely, the game was over right there, if that's not a touchback.
It was supposed to be.
It was supposed to be. So you get bailed.
And then for some reason you go crazy and you give it to McCole Hardman instead of giving it to anybody else on your offense.
I don't.
And then he just fumbles it out the end zone.
It's interesting.
That motherfucker. He did not need to touch the ball.
No.
Let me tell you.
No. But it's getting interesting to the point where this can kind of like also like translate into like our next topic outside of the divisional, like what do you do if you're Buffalo now? Because Josh Allen's big extension kicks in next year. It's gonna be even harder to build a championship level roster, especially when you already haven't been. The Ravens look like they ain't slowing down anytime soon as long as Lamar stays healthy. You're always obviously gonna have KC for some fuck reason now because they just will not lose. But just talking about the game, I'm not putting shit on Josh Allen. I know you could have said he could have hit the underneath.
That's crazy. No, that's crazy.
He could have hit the underneath route to Diggs or whatever. Looking at what he had to do in this game with his, Josh Allen deserves blame. Stephon Diggs deserves more blame.
Everyone deserves blame.
Yes,
But yeah,
I just don't understand what I was watching because you're like sitting here watching the game. You're like, damn, Stephon Diggs going to come out here, make a play, right? Get them in whatever position they need to go win.
he really dropped that pass. Oh,
Drops that walk in.
I needed that.
Drops that parlay.
It really was for that parlay.
But drops that walk in touchdown. And like, here's the thing. Stephon Diggs is not like some number 3 receiver on the team. That's Stephon Diggs. He gets paid to make that catch. That's a walk in touchdown.
That's literally the catch that they pay you for, my boy.
That was, I mean, and you can't place a better ball. That's fucking what, 60 yards down the field? Made it look easy as fuck.
So he did actually like have to slow down a little bit. He could have made a better throw, but like in that circumstances, I'm not asking him to make a better throw.
No.
He can make a better throw, but there's not a world where he does. Like that's a hard ass throw to make.
And to where
he made the best throw.
To where the ball just kind of went through his arms, he just mistimed it, the catch. But like it's tough because they had two deep bombs to another receiver on their team. I didn't know his name. It was incomplete.
Yeah, Sherfield.
Yes,
Trent Sherfield, I believe.
So they had 2 deep bombs not work out for them, and then
that one of them hit the ground.
Mm-hmm.
And then one was the the one in the end zone that he skipped. But he was like pushed. His offensive lineman got pushed into him.
Mm-hmm. And
I don't know.
that was the dig.
Here's
That
what I
was the
see.
dig underneath route.
Yeah, that was the dig. Yeah, look, Stephon Diggs, that was sorry performance. Because like, here's the thing about if you just like don't get to catch that ball, whatever. You missed time to catch. But like, he just was not in the game. Because I'm watching him run like these 10-yard out routes where he's just like, he runs the 10-yard out and then he just stops. He just stops. The receivers that make a difference for real, like when times are needed, like when Tyreek Hill makes a difference, is when you see him run that 10-yard out. Nothing's happening. Patrick Mahomes gets out of the, or Tua, whoever gets out of the pocket, and you see Tyreek Hill run 10 yards back in, find an open spot. Stephon Diggs just stopped and just stopped moving. And he just quit.
Yeah.
He just quit.
I mean,
And it's sorry.
if I was going into the game, out of anybody on Buffalo's offense that I thought would for sure step up more so in this big of a game against KC, against a rival, understandably, Chiefs secondary, fucking stout. Stout secondary. But like I said, you're Stephon Diggs. You're considered a top 5 receiver in all of football.
Mm-hmm.
Like, this is,
you got to get it done, man.
You have to get it done. You have to
And
get
that's
it
why,
done.
and then what I was about to say as well is that's where my mind is with Josh Allen as well. Josh Allen played good, you're right. But, like, God damn it, man. At some point, you just got to get it done.
See, I understand both sides of it, but like push comes to shove, like whatever
No,
you
not.
got. But like here's my thing with it though. Everybody's like Buffalo had so many chances to win the game, blah blah blah, all this and that. But I'm like, whatever, didn't work out for him. That Buffalo never catches the breaks against KC in general. But like Josh Allen performed well enough to have a position to where you trot your fucking kicker out there to go tie the goddamn game and to realistically probably go to overtime. And
it was sort of overtime, but they still
had like a minute
might have
left.
even had a chance for KC to win. Honestly,
Yeah.
There's still a world. There was more than a minute left. There's still a world where KC goes down and wins that game.
Yeah,
I think there's more than a minute left. I might be wrong.
There's like about just around an exact
around a minute left.
Yeah. So like
there's
sitting
a world
there
where Casey just goes and scores.
Yeah, there is a world where that happens. Also a world where you go to overtime, but putting it in your defense's hands to go try to get a stop, tie game, whatever. If you're Josh Allen, you're like,
okay.
Damn, this is the second time my defense couldn't get a stop against Patrick Mahomes.
But also, here's the thing. In the broadcast before the game, they're telling me that both kickers were missing from 45 yards out before the game. So why, Josh Allen, why are we not throwing the route to Diggs where we can get him in a fucking position for maybe a 30-yarder instead of a 48?
I mean, I didn't see any problem with Buckner over on the other side. I didn't see any fucking problem. Yeah, I didn't see any problem.
Gets it done.
And then they showed the graphic.
KC gets it done.
Yeah, they showed the graphic. 9 out of his last 9 game-winning or tying field goals.
I saw that.
I'm like, wow, 6. So we're going to OT. I'm like, damn, me money on Buffalo. I'm like, damn, OT, we get it done this time. Whatever. If you're Josh Allen, you're sitting there, wow, my defense just can't stop Patrick Mahomes when it matters. Fine, whatever, you live with that. But if you look at the field goal, obviously windy conditions.
Yeah.
If you look at if you look at the orange flags during that kick, they move a little bit, and then it was pretty much stand still when he kicked the field goal. Wide right, wide fucking right. Biggest rival.
That's crazy. Dude, I knew. I ain't gonna lie. I knew it was not going in.
When
he lined up for that kick. This motherfucker is missing this.
I'm not.
You think this shit's going in?
I am a Vikings fan. I felt fucking sick for the city of Buffalo when that field goal missed. I'm like, wide right? Ain't no way we can make this kind of play right now. Hurt or not. We got to make the play. We have to make the play. I was sick to my stomach. I'm like, wow.
Dude, it sucks.
I was like, holy shit.
I used to, so I'm not a fan of the Bills. I don't like them.
Okay.
I'm not a huge fan of Josh Allen, but I used to like the Bills back when they had Tyrod Taylor, and watching him miss that kick, that brought out the old Bills fan in me. I was a little sad for a minute. It's like these motherfuckers, they just can't get it done. They just can't beat Kansas City.
I
They're at
just
home and they can't do it.
it's crazy to me because when you're looking at something like that, and that's like I said, say what you want. They could have won the game and made different points, but like looking at that, I'm like, damn, you have an opportunity right here to really.
Oh, they had 3 drives at the end of the game where they had a chance to
Yeah,
win the game,
but I'm like,
and they didn't score any points.
no. But then I'm sitting here, I'm like, okay, worst comes to worst, you have to go to OT. Nope, you don't even get that chance because your kicker, like the kick wasn't even fucking close. Like that was my problem with it.
No,
Like it
no, it
wasn't
was
even
wide
close.
ass right,
Yes, like I'm like
and Capitals wide right.
the sound of that stadium was fucking crazy. Like they're sitting here, OT, right? Stadium, all confidence in the world in person that he was gonna make that field goal. Like the gasp when they saw it went wide right was
When it
fucking
went
crazy.
wide as fuck, right? Yeah.
And then I'm sitting here like if I'm like sitting there on the sidelines and I'm like Josh Allen, I'm like this shit crazy. Like this
Yeah.
is crazy. The script is fucking ridiculous. Like I just this can kind of get us into what I have for what they're looking at in this offseason cuz this shit ain't pretty. All right.
Oh God.
So Josh Allen's extension kicks in, right? I think they have one of the worst contracts on their team in Von Miller at this point.
Oh, I know. Yeah, I knew you were gonna say Von Miller.
Like 0
Dude.
sacks this season, mind you.
Like
12
5
games
tackles,
played.
wasn't it?
Yeah, 12 games played, 0 sacks. His contract is $17.5 million for the next 6 years. He's already like 33, 34 through 2028. Starting next year.
6 years?
Yes. It was 6 years through 2028.
Dude.
So that's $17.5
How did
million.
How?
You already have Stephon Diggs making a good chunk of change, which deserving, right? You would think. Josh Allen,
Who knows?
extendo next year. So you're like, right? Like, damn, it's gonna be even harder to make their roster even better. Here's what they need to do: you need to start thinking younger. You need to get the roster younger because you were already riddled with injuries, even throughout this year in general, right? If I'm looking at this, I'm like, you just gotta sell Von Miller at this point. If you can try to get off the contract, you're probably not gonna be able to. You just gotta sell it at this point because maybe it could be an outlier year, but I'm like, with his age, you're like, damn, 2028, like Jesus.
Dude, it got to the point where like, I mean, I was watching them only put him in on like pass rush scenarios where it was very obvious, and then he just gets doubled, and then he's just not in the play.
He's somebody.
And and at that point, they didn't have any rushers to like complement him getting doubled.
Exactly.
So like they're getting no pressure.
I was just about to say that because even with he was with the Rams, it's like, well, fuck, we can't double him because then he got Aaron Donald over here, and we can't double Donald because he got
Bobby
Miller over
Wagner
here.
at the time too.
Yeah, so like their defense was stout, but like the Bills don't have that secondary rusher that can take pressure off Von Miller, which led to him kind of just being doubled and being predictable with their defensive scheme and everything else like that. But I'm like, even then, with him being his age, $17.5 million, 6 years, you're like, that's a lot of your cap, right? With Josh Allen getting paid.
That's like the craziest contract in the league, probably.
Has to be. I would have to do more research on it, but it's one of them.
That agent, I don't know how. Wow, goated agent.
Yeah, I don't get it.
That's just wild.
I think if there's any way you can get off the Von Miller contract, maybe somebody takes a stab off just name value alone. But it looks like you're going to be stuck with that. Josh Allen is going to get paid, obviously. It's real interesting to talk about, like, you might have to consider at least testing the waters in terms of a Stephon Diggs market and just drafting a receiver, because it's tough because obviously you had the whole drama and shit with Stephon Diggs when they were going through the season and everything else like that. But, like, I'm not saying you go out and have to trade Stephon Diggs. You at least have to test the market. You at least have to see what the market is looking like. And because right now, currently, they have the 28th pick in the draft.
Could you get like the 8th pick from the Bears? Or whatever pick that they get.
I don't know what that market is. I don't...
I'm not from the Bears. Not like from the Bears. Maybe not from the Bears. I completely forgot they had DJ Moore. But, like, I don't know.
I
think like you got AJ. The last thing I can think of is AJ Brown got traded for that first round pick.
Mm-hmm.
It was like the 14th overall or something like that.
I still believe Stephon Diggs is worth a first, late first.
I think you're right. I think
He's
so. I think
probably still
so.
working.
No, okay. Recency bias got to be great. No, Stephon Diggs is worth the
Yes,
first
he's
round
worth the
pick.
first. I
What a
would say
show!
he's worth the first.
What a
It
show!
it's very interesting to see. I would definitely test the market on it because of you also have to look at how good this pass receiver class was. You're looking at Zay Flowers, Ravens. He's the number one receiver on that team.
Oh,
You're looking at Jordan Addison when Justin Jefferson went down. Dog, hooping. Only wide receiver out of that first round that didn't perform well was Quentin Johnson. Every other
yeah.
receiver that was drafted in the first round did their job.
And he's getting clowned, dude. I see Quentin Johnson getting clowned on Twitter.
I'm giving him
People
one more
just
year.
point out that his game ain't nothing.
I'm giving him one more year with hardball and everything else. But I
Got
mean,
to.
I would test the market. It would be a wicked trade, but he's gonna have a market like all of a sudden you'd see like a team like y'all, like the Cowboys, like you would see teams that are contenders that kind of need that receiver, to where you're like,
Mm.
okay, we see what we have here. Like a team like it's interesting because the only team that really struck for me, like really, like could you imagine like the Falcons, right? Falcons have a good first round draft pick. Instead of them drafting a quarterback, say they miss out and say they don't like anybody when their pick comes around. Say they're like, okay, we got free agency. We can go. There's a decent amount of quarterbacks like a Kirk Cousins, right?
Mm.
Say fuck around. You have go just sign Kirk Cousins to a team deal, short contract, kind of bridge quarterback.
Little 3 year,
Yeah,
2 year, 3 year deal.
and you already have young talent on offense and defense. Say you use that pick, bring in a Stephon Diggs to help bolster that offense. With a Drake London, a Kyle Pitts, you have Kirk Cousins, you have Bijan, Algier,
Oh,
you
that
have
offense
that
would be insane.
defense. Like, yeah, they could do something like that. I think the Falcons are in an interesting spot where they can afford to do something like that because when you look at this team, their only hole is quarterback.
Right.
So, I mean, it's interesting. I think there is definitely a huge market for Stephon Diggs. It's just if the Bills want to kind of like
Like
explore that
shit,
realm.
you got Russ out there for free.
Yeah,
Fuck
you
it.
got people
Falcons can
out
go pick up
there.
Russ. Fuck it.
Like we're living in a time now to where like if you don't absolutely love your quarterback in the draft, and you don't think this can be your franchise guy, you're like look at Baker Mayfield. Like look at a Jared Goff who was really just a
Geno
throw-in the
Smith, you
trade.
can get
Geno
these
Smith.
guys.
Like you can get serviceable
If you
guys.
build it's just build a good enough fucking team. Like
Hmm.
that's it. If you can just build up some receivers and offensive line that doesn't get your quarterback killed every other play,
Yeah,
and
like
some sort of defense to stop people, not any quarterback, but like these tier 2, 3, 4 quarterbacks can still get the job done. Gardner Minshew, fuck it, sign Gardner Minshew.
Gardner Minshew took the close.
See what he can do.
Gardner Minshew damn near took he catches that ball. Gardner Minshew's in the playoffs.
Uh huh.
So it's very interesting to see like all these teams that are like because I'm looking at the draft and like looking at teams talk about the draft like just from the Vikings point of view because that's all the lore I see. It's like you can go draft like a McCarthy or like a Penix or something like that. But I'm like if I'm in the draft and I'm not top three and I'm not getting either Caleb Williams, Drake May, or Jane Daniels, I'm like I can take whatever with this pick. I don't have to go get a quarterback because we could just bring back Kirk Cousins. Like,
Yeah.
we could just do that. Like, there ain't nothing wrong with just bringing back Kirk Cousins and adding a nice piece to offense or defense. But teams think too much about, I understand you got to have your quarterback sit, and I think having quarterbacks sit longer, like Jordan Love, for example, it shows how it can help them. Because Jordan Love, when you look at it, he's not the most like fucking crazy talented guy. He just knows the fucking game.
Yeah. Yeah.
But Buffalo definitely needs to take a step back and look at really what they need to do in this kind of next phase for them. Because I think they're gonna go through this next phase.
I think what I don't. I think they're just gonna keep trying to go.
Run it back.
Just keep reloading. I mean, again, like what you said, man, they got Von Miller here for 6 years. You got Josh Allen on a fucking 40 million, whatever, 50 million.
Josh Allen's
contract.
gonna be there until he's like 33. I think that's when he's a free agent.
It's like, fuck it. I mean, he's in his prime. I think.
Yeah,
So,
no,
like,
it's
I mean,
I-
we can't afford to like.
yeah. I get both sides of it.
08, 09.
Yeah, you can't. I get both sides of it, but like if they wanted to get crazy, I think you look at a Stephon Diggs trade market. Because Stephon Diggs is reeling you in at first.
If you can, I mean, like, if you can find like a Tyler Boyd to sign as your like number one, and then draft a good receiver as your number two to kind of get up there. I mean,
And then
Josh Allen
you
can make
saw
that
flashes
receiver two and not
from
wide receiver one.
you saw flashes out of Shakur and Kincaid this year.
Yeah.
So I mean, and Kincaid seems like
Gabe Davis can go.
Yeah, Gabe Davis he just ain't the move. He ain't the move at the moment.
Kincaid's a dog. James Cook is a dog. You can work with that.
Especially when seemed like they transitioned to more of a run heavy style offense anyways. I feel like they could experiment with the Stephon Diggs trade market for sure.
Yeah.
But
because I don't think you need that next level. You don't need that next level receiver.
No, I wouldn't.
I think Josh Allen can work with these lower level receivers.
I think your quarterback can elevate your receivers like we've seen receivers elevate quarterbacks. But kind of flipping the script and going over to the Chargers, who kind of just got their franchise saved in a way with Harbaugh being their head coach. But I'm gonna say it now. Say it now. I know we had Justin Herbert MVP this year. Next year, wait on it.
Think so?
Wait on it. He's gonna change that.
I think I have to stop believing in him.
Stop believing in him?
Until he shows me.
I think it's just a win-win for Justin Herbert and just his career.
It is. It's for sure a win-win for him and the Chargers. It's a win for everybody all around. But I'm not a huge subscriber to the notion that coaching can just
change everything,
change an entire organization. I mean, there was more than just one problem.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, I'm not a huge college football person, so I didn't watch a lot of what he did in Michigan. I know he was a crazy coach at San Francisco. I know that, but I mean, it looks good. I mean, I know he's a quarterback whisperer.
I got to see it though.
I just have to see it. They really need to switch up that defense. Isn't he an offense? He's an offensive coach. Who won't man this defense?
They'll find somebody. Somebody.
It's just
they're in an interesting spot because they still have players on that roster that where you're like they could live without him.
Yeah.
But they still have roster construction problems as well that they definitely need to figure out. But
they're gonna look they have so many. They are in such a weird spot. I think they have so many players where I'm like, what are you gonna do with this guy? What are you gonna do with Austin Eckler? He's 28. You gonna sign him to a long-term contract? No.
No.
You can't franchise tag him.
Not after this year.
You can't franchise tag him. I don't think.
I'd damn near just run it back with Joshua Kelly. Fuck it. Then bring Austin Eckler back.
Yeah, I'd rather bring Joshua Kelly. No, honestly, no. Joshua Kelly sucks.
I'm not paying Austin Eckler.
I'm letting them both go.
Okay, we're just gonna find somebody new. We're just gonna find somebody new.
We're finding somebody else.
Yeah.
Isaiah Spiller could be number one for now.
And then,
Keenan Allen's getting
Keenan
old as
Allen,
shit.
Mike
I love
Williams.
Keenan Allen. He's a dog.
Both of them are making
Mike Williams, my guy.
So much of your cap.
Play 16 games.
Then you're like Bosa. Bosa always fucking hurt.
I'm like Khalil Mack. I know you got 7 sacks in one game, but what did you do in the other 16? There's so many questions.
I'm gonna look at it from the point of they finally have a coach that is gonna be able to rally his players. That's what I'm looking at it as. They finally got a coach that you're like, okay, we can trust him to really manage Justin Herbert and get the best out of Justin Herbert. That's what this move is for. Because Justin Herbert, all-world talent. Has he messed up at certain times throughout his career? Yes. But I would put more of it on the team than Justin Herbert at certain times.
I don't think it's a Justin Herbert problem.
Because people were quick to say, oh, Justin Herbert, social media quarterback, that next week he doesn't play, they lose by fucking 50 to the Raiders in division. So, people are quick to say shit about Justin Herbert, but didn't realize how much they need Justin Herbert, obviously.
Yeah. I mean,
But
he's played in one playoff game, and all I remember, I worked that night, and I look at my phone, and they're winning like what 21-0 against the
27 to
Jags.
0.
27-0. I look and they lost because I was busy as fuck at work. And the next time I looked at my phone, I saw the Jags won. I know he played like shit.
Mm-hmm.
So you know what? The social media it's not a social media quarterback, but he is a huge stats guy who does not win.
Yeah. Yeah. I also
So-
think they don't have a winning culture for the Chargers.
They definitely don't.
They don't.
They definitely don't.
They don't.
And hopefully Harbaugh will turn that around.
Mm-hmm.
I think he definitely will. I think that's a given. I think the culture thing is a given.
Yeah.
It's just what you get
What you
right
have
guys.
roster wise is a question mark for sure. But I mean, the only
I know they got rid of Kellen Moore as well. I think they got rid of Kellen Moore.
I'm pretty sure they did. But I mean,
he's probably bringing his own full-on.
Oh, for sure.
Staff.
For sure.
So fuck you, Kellen Moore. I remember when people were saying that Kellen Moore was gonna be the savior of Justin Herbert, and now it's Jim Harbaugh.
Yeah, but
Kellen Moore wasn't enough. How much does Justin Herbert need?
I was surprised it wasn't Bill Belichick. Honestly,
I don't even know. Like the fact that him and Vrabel are still available is still weird to me.
That Seahawks job gonna be wicked. I've also heard Pete Carroll.
Shit.
I've also heard Pete Carroll could get a head coaching job somewhere. So
yeah, I saw he got some interviews too.
Yeah, so it's gonna be interesting. But I think I gotta obviously see it to believe it. But I want to see Justin Herbert do well. I don't think he's a social media QB. I think he's legit.
No.
But going in to kind of wrap up the episode, we got our championship game predictions: Ravens and Chiefs. The world is resting on the shoulders of Lamar Jackson this Sunday afternoon. Lamar Jackson's world in the palm of his hands. We know the Ravens are the better team. They've been proven that. I haven't seen the Ravens play a close game in months.
Yeah, are the Chiefs going to get blown out?
No. Because here's what's going to happen. Just like we see it all the time, the Ravens are going to forget how to play football in that first quarter. And they're going to get fucking down for some reason. They're going to be down
10
10-0. And they're going to forget what the fuck is going on. And in that moment's going to get big. That moment's going to get huge on Lamar Jackson. Because this is, I'm damn near glad I wanted the Bills to beat the Chiefs. I'm damn near glad for Lamar's sake that they're playing KC. Because I could already see a world where if Lamar Jackson beat Buffalo, went to the Super Bowl, won or lost in the Super Bowl, the whole narrative would be well, he didn't beat Patrick Mahomes to go to the Super Bowl, so is it even valid? But now he's playing Patrick Mahomes at home,
So once he does it,
yes, now that would be that I could already see a narrative about that being written. So I'm glad it's this because this is the big matchup. This is Patrick Mahomes' 6th straight title game. And
can you beat the dynasty?
Can you beat the dynasty? And we just saw Josh Allen couldn't because the only two fucking quarterbacks that can do it are Tom Brady and Joe Burrow, I guess.
That's it.
So
that's it.
I'm praying. I'm praying. I'm praying that the Ravens just take care of business because they should. Better team, but it's Patrick Mahomes. He's just gonna find a fucking way.
What if the Ravens just get shut down, dude? I mean, they just can't do shit. Okay, well, I think they're gonna do shit because they're gonna do stuff on the ground. They're gonna get done on the ground.
Yeah,
that's just what they do.
Mm-hmm.
It's
that defense. It's that defense. Can that defense just stop Patrick Mahomes from doing Patrick Mahomes shit?
I honestly, you know what? I learned my lesson betting against Tom Brady, so I am just not gonna bet against the greatest playoff quarterback of all time. And I'm just gonna take Mahomes.
I think that Ravens team gets a pick.
Oh yeah, probably.
I think they get a pick.
I could also see the Ravens. I could also see Lamar fucking mishandling trying to hand it off to fucking Gus Edwards. Fumble.
Fucking
fumble. No. Chris Jones recovery.
I'm just sitting here thinking of what scenarios could happen because with how stout that Ravens defense is, all of a sudden I'm gonna be watching on sundown Travis Kelce wide the fuck open 15 yards down the field on the sideline somehow with how stout the defense is I don't know if they're going to be able to do shit with Isaiah Pacheco because Isaiah Pacheco is a dog. But, like, I don't know. It's going to be a very interesting game because of how dominant the Ravens have been, but we know what Mahomes brings. But here's the script. Here's what I'm feeling. Chiefs get up in the game 10-zip. Ravens charge back in the third quarter. We're sitting at like 27.
They don't score in the first half?
No, I'm not saying. I'm 2017 in the third quarter. Ravens get it done. It's a low scoring game. I think the under go hit. But then we're sitting here, fourth quarter. Damn, Patrick Mahomes game winning drive. Same old shit. Got to get into field goal range. Picked off. Ravens go to the fucking Super Bowl. That's what I'm calling it. That's what I'm hearing.
If the Chiefs lose, I think it's going to be on a non-called PI.
non-called
PI. And Patrick Mahomes. What the?
Rasheed Rice 15-yard out route, no PI call.
No, it's not going to be. You know it's either MVS or McCollum or Kadarius Toney.
Oh no,
it can't be a good wide receiver. No, they got to throw one of the
underthrow into a PI. I get it. Underthrow into a PI. When it matters,
you got to throw your worst wide receiver out there and hope for a PI.
Yeah.
And you don't get it, and then Mahomes cries. But you know what? With that, my official prediction is I just think the Chiefs are going to win.
I'm going to go Baltimore because Baltimore been my guys all year.
I want Baltimore to win. It's just like I'm just going to bet on Patrick Mahomes.
Give me Baltimore. Give me Baltimore 24-21. Baltimore 24-21.
Give me Chiefs get into field goal range to end the game 31-28.
I'd be sick.
30-28.
I'd be sick watching Buckner come out there and drill a 55-yarder to go to the Super Bowl.
Butker to end another team's dreams.
I'd be sick. But going to the other side, NFC, Lions, 49ers. Listen, I don't think there will be a 49ers fan in the world other than the people in that stadium and Niners fans. Everybody else will be rooting for the Lions.
If you're not a Niners fan, you're rooting for the Lions.
Yes.
But with that being said, I just think the Niners are going to do it. The Niners are just going to do it. They're going to put up a fight. The Lions are. But Jared Goff's going to throw 2 picks.
I don't think Jared Goff's going to throw picks. No. Nah, we passed that era for Jared Goff. We're past that era. Here's what's going to happen. High scoring game. Give me the Lions like 31-28. God, this is where we see Brock Purdy make the mistake. In this game, this is where we see Brock Purdy make the mistake. Late game drive, we see something happen like a pick or a miscalled PI, something of that nature, and I see a world where Amon-Ra St. Brown just has his way with whoever's on him. Whatever the coverage is, St. Brown's just going to have his way. And I just feel...
Is Debo supposed to play?
He's questionable. If Debo plays, it's a whole different game. If Debo doesn't play, I think the Lions win.
I don't know, man. I don't know. I think...
Lions secondary is sus, though.
Yeah, sus as fuck.
It's hella sus. Hella sus.
God, I don't like CJ Gardner-Johnson.
Yeah.
I don't like him.
Why? Because he was talking shit to Baker?
On a tipped pass. You wasn't ball hawking. It was tip drill.
No, fucking I'm gonna go because here's the thing. If I'm right and it's Ravens,
God, Aiden Hutchinson about to do nothing this game.
Possibly. The story though. Here's the thing.
I saw him because you know want to know why? The only reason why is because after the game, they just showed an angle of him just looking around, just so happy. He was so happy, and I was like, man, you really ain't gonna do shit in this NFC Championship.
I think St. Brown just has a field day. I just don't think there's anybody that can cover him, no matter the coverage.
This Josh Reynolds 2-touchdown game is inevitable.
It's really
for no reason.
It really depends on how the Lions are on the ground. Because if they're able to move the ball, then you're like, oh, fuck. Like, you can't just let the Lions get up because they will just run the air out of the ball. So, like, it's very interesting. You got San Francisco's defensive front against the Lions O-line, who's top in the league. Like, it's going to be a good matchup. It really just comes down to, like...
There's a fight in the trenches.
Yes, like, it's going to come down to, like, man, can Jared Goff make that one drive in the fourth? Like, to, like...
Jared, he's questionable with pressure, man. If the 49ers can get pressure on him, it's going to be a little scary.
Yeah. But I'm gonna go Lions 31-28. Win off of a field goal and go to the Super Bowl.
I'm gonna go 49ers 24-20. Low scoring game. Lions, just not a lot of trips to the red zone.
Here's the
That's
thing.
what I'm gonna say they just can't get to the red zone very often.
Here's the thing. I think there's a lot of different storylines going into this. If the Ravens play the Lions, the Ravens would just kill the Lions.
Absolutely kill them.
Yes. So if the Lions go to the Super Bowl, I want to see the Chiefs win because I think that's a fucking game. Week 1, Lions beat KC and KC, but if the Ravens win, you probably want the Niners to win, so it's just a better game. But we have all seen the Niners get handled by the Ravens, so it's very interesting. But I'm just full aware and waiting for the Ravens to just not know how to play football and Patrick Mahomes to just go back to the Super Bowl. Like, it could just happen, like, just like that.
Just Chiefs-Niners rematch.
Yes. Then I wouldn't even know who to root for.
But I do want to make it known, man, I am rooting for Lamar. I am rooting for the Ravens. I've seen this story. I've just seen it.
They call me crazy. Ravens, AFC champs. They called me crazy.
He did say that.
They called me crazy. Had them winning the conference. Number 1 seed. Like, this is it, bro. Like, this is it. Because, like,
I think I took the Chiefs, so fuck it.
Like, looking at it, it's like, then you're like, damn, next year Baltimore, damn. Bengals looking stout over there. Basically, they year off. I'm like, damn.
Are they, though?
KC just go beat KC. Then you're like, damn, we got to worry about Texans now.
Oh, fuck. That's going to be... Like, that's why, going back to the Chargers, I'm not even, like, too happy about that. Because, like, look up above you, my boy.
The Chiefs are just...
There's a lot of stuff
It sucks that they're in the division with the Chiefs. Like, that's just horrendous.
Not even that. It's literally just the AFC, bro.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, you got... It feels like 2 teams from each division and 3 from some divisions.
We're saying all this for the Steelers to still squeak into the playoffs with an 8-9 record.
Yes.
Like, we're saying all this for them to still just squeak by and get in. Like
there's going to be, 10 playoff teams, but 10 teams that think that they can make the playoffs.
About 10 to 11.
10 to 11 teams.
Because you got to think... You got to think if Aaron Rodgers stays healthy, the Jets are going to be in the mix.
Yeah.
So
at least they're going to think they are.
Yeah, they're going to think they are. And then, Steelers always think they are. The Browns are going to think they are with that defense. Mm-hmm. So...
Chargers now think they are.
The Raiders probably think they can go win the division.
Nah.
Raiders probably they ain't go win the division.
The Raiders, the Titans, and the Patriots are the only 3 that I can think of that are actively knowing that they ain't doing shit. The Colts almost made it to the playoffs.
You think the Broncos doing shit?
Ooh, no, the Broncos. There it is. There's that last team, the Broncos.
The Broncos ain't doing shit.
So 4 teams that know that they ain't doing shit.
Yeah, I mean the Steelers division is stout. They could damn near send 4 any given year.
Steelers, Ravens,
Browns,
Bengals. Goddamn. I'm sitting here thinking the Steelers are the worst there going the next year. They just made the playoffs.
God.
With Mason Rudolph.
What happened to our Jags, man? We were a Jacksonville podcast last year.
Boo. Fucking boo.
Jacksonville podcast last year.
I might be off the Trevor Lawrence train.
Oh, God.
I'm not off of it, but I might be soon enough.
It's slowing down to where you can get off, but it's a decision you need to make.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. We're getting there. We're getting close to
that. Okay.
Stop.
Okay.
It's almost time.
But You want to wrap it up there?
Yeah.
Thank you guys for tuning into the Barrel Talk podcast. Hope to see you tune in the future episodes.